Hi, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Ryan Jacobson, and just starting to get into the weather business here, and I'll share my forecast today for February 24th, 2025. So let's get right into things. Looking at today, across this Monday morning, there's some rain showers across Florida, going up into Georgia and around the Florida Panhandle. These are gradually going to shift east through the midday and afternoon hours and should move out of the region by the overnight hours tonight. And then we'll shift our attention to the west. You'll see there's going to be another round of atmospheric river impacting portions of the northern western United States tonight. That'll include Oregon, Washington, and Northern California. There could be some heavy rain embedded with this, and we'll go over the totals and snowfall totals later on in this video, but just beware of that, as there could be some pretty messy travel there in those locations. Going into tomorrow, there's going to be some scattered showers around the area, especially in the northeast, some scattered snow and rain showers. I'm not expecting any snow accumulation from these, as the temperatures are going to be warm and it's going to be during the day, so maybe some high elevations in the northeast could see up to an inch of snow, but I'm not really expecting much in the way of accumulation. Going back out west, you can see another kind of round of atmospheric rivers impacting the same locations, bringing some more snow showers to really high elevations in the mountainous regions. I'll push this ahead. This is going into Wednesday. You can see two low pressures develop along the Canadian border and drop south. This first one's going to go across the Midwest and Northeast on Wednesday going into Thursday. This will bring rain showers and some snow showers further north. You're going to have a line of rain showers and maybe some embedded thunderstorms going all the way from the eastern seaboard all the way down to Texas and eventually into Florida and the Florida Panhandle. There's not really any severe weather expected at this time, but we'll be monitoring the potential on that. I'll go back real quickly here. There may be a possibility for some heavier snow up in this Maine and northern New England region in the high elevations. Maybe a couple inches is possible, but everywhere else I'm not really expecting any accumulation. But you'll see behind this, it's going to bring in a lot colder temperatures as a kind of it's going to trough, and the low pressure is going to swing by, and cold air is going to follow behind that. You're going to see this is going into Friday. You're going to see lake effect and snow squalls coming off the Great Lakes. And this will be affecting portions of the Northeast and even going down into the Mid-Atlantic, including areas in Pennsylvania and all the way down to West Virginia and even Virginia, perhaps, in the mountainous terrain there as well. Now, this is where things get interesting. This is on Friday here. This is Friday at 10 a.m. There's a potential for another clipper dropping south from Canada. This one looks a little bit stronger. You can see a more well-defined low pressure and a heavier swath of snow on the north side of it. This is still undetermined where this track's going to be, how strong it's going to be, but the potential's there for a decent swath of snow from the Midwest into the Northeast. The model has shifted a little bit south since yesterday. The low pressure shifted a little bit south, kind of going along the warm air, cold air boundary. So I don't really believe it yet. I don't believe snow in New York City, but the possibility's there. It's on the table, and we'll just continue to track this and just see what happens. But like I said, we're still 6 days out, so it's very uncertain what we'll actually see. After this clipper system swings through, you're going to have a look of really warm air out west with cold air up here in the Northeast and really the further portions of the Northeast. After this is next Sunday. This is Sunday morning. It's really uncertain what we're going to see after this. There may be some more troughs following this trough, and that could bring to more pivotal weather, you could say, bigger storm systems going in to the middle of next week, but it's still very uncertain. But we'll definitely see some colder air coming back into the Northeast next weekend. There'll be a warm up, and it'll continue to stay warm across much of the rest of the country. Let me show you the temperature real quick for the next 7 days. So this is going into today. And it's going to get pretty warm. Look at this. This is the highs today on Monday here. And you're looking at temperatures almost up to 50 degrees in southern Minnesota. And even upstate New York, where I am, temperatures are going to be reaching the 40s and even close, probably in some of the valley locations, approaching 45 degrees, which is really warm for this time of year, especially. As I push this forward, you'll see here on Tuesday, it's going to continue to stay warm across most of the country. You're looking at Texas, central Texas, you can see highs up to 85, and maybe some southern locations pushing close to 90 degrees, which is just pretty crazy for this time of year. You'll see that colder air start to come back into the northeast, start to come back into view here. This is on Thursday. It's still going to be very nice across most of the country. That's kind of the story this week. Pretty quiet across most of the country and warmer conditions. Now here's that cold air coming back into the northeast. This is Friday afternoon. So the highs on Friday, not going to be that warm in the northeast. You're looking at highs in Wisconsin, Michigan, New York, probably not getting out of the mid-20s. But you'll see it's a pretty sharp cutoff. Look at that. This model is showing Milwaukee 28 degrees and then southern Illinois 45. So it may be a pretty sharp cutoff on the cold air. And we obviously do not know exactly where this cold air is going to set up or how far south it's going to drop. But we are certain that there's going to be some cold air coming back into the northeast and midwest going into next weekend. And you'll see there's kind of that second reinforcement of cold air. And then this is looking at Sunday afternoon, and you can still see that cold air is locked in place. Will it continue to stay locked in place, or will the warm air and warm high pressure push it out? Time will tell. I'll show you the precipitation for the next 7 days. Let me real quick. I'll show you the CPC outlook. So this is the Climate Prediction Center outlook for days 6 through 10. And you can see warm air is expected across most of the country, except like we've been saying, the northeast and portions of the Midwest where it could stay below average. But most of the United States is going to be above average on temperatures. And it could get pretty hot, and you could even be breaking some records here across portions of South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska. It's going to be very above average, close to 20, 30 degrees above average compared to this time of year. Let me go back to the precipitation over the next 7 days expected. You can see just in the next 24 hours, there's going to be some heavy rain and heavy precipitation out west. Some of these mountainous areas could be reaching 4 or 5 inches of precipitation. This would be falling as snow, but just, yeah, a lot of moisture coming in to out west, especially the northwest area. And then I'll go down south here. Still some rain in Florida. Like I said, that's passing through, and that'll pass through today. And you can see, accumulations from 1 to up to probably 2 and maybe even 2.5 inches in some areas. I'll continue to push this forward. This is going into Friday here. And you can see here's that Clipper system dropping south, and you got that lake effect and the moisture. So scattered rain and snow showers expected for most of the northeast this week, and then it looks like it'll transition once the cold air drops south into lake effect snow showers. And then that Clipper system, how that will set up is still, like I said, unknown. So this is looking at your precipitation the next week here, and most of the middle of the country is going to be dry, high and dry, nice sunny weather, and not much precipitation at all is expected. Like I said, this precipitation is mostly expected just today in the Florida area. In the northeast will stay cloudy and pretty wet with pretty continuous rain and snow showers up there is expected. And then obviously out west, you have the atmospheric river impacting those areas. Let me quickly go to the snowfall. So here's the snowfall, and here's what's expected. You can see the mountainous areas out west could be seeing some heavy snowfall. This is very high elevations, though. These are the mountains, but areas in Washington could be seeing up to 4 feet of snow in the very, very high elevation. So that's good for some of the snowpack. And this will continue into Idaho, Montana, and into Wyoming and Oregon as well. And then the GFS is showing some accumulation from the snow that's going to occur Tuesday going into Wednesday. But like I said, it's going to be warm. It's going to be during the day, so I really don't expect any of these accumulations, which the GFS is showing here. I just don't think that's going to be a possibility, as it's going to be too warm. It's going to be during the day as well. Let me continue to push this forward here. And then here's that Clipper system, and you can see it is dropped further south than expected, or than it has in the last 24 hours. As yesterday, it was more this kind of up here, but you can see it's dropped further south. So we'll see if that trend continues, but it could drop a pretty significant swath of snow across southern Canada into the Midwest and then exiting the Northeast. Again, details are still sketchy 6 days out, but the potential is there for a decent dump of snow across those areas. So that's kind of the forecast I have for you guys today. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.